Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Double B Babylon, the franchise player, joined here once again by my boy Tony DeBurn. And welcome to another exciting installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Tony, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm pretty good, considering the little needle that they stuck me with to give me my vaccine yesterday, and I know you got yours today too. How are you feeling?
Oh man, I'll tell you, my shoulder, man. I don't know. It's like
Yeah, right.
it hurts, but it doesn't hurt. It's more like a dull like muscle thump.
Yeah, that was the way mine felt. It goes away after a while, and then if it's anything like mine, you just won't feel anything probably in a few hours.
Well, I got mine done at noon, which is crazy, man. Because like I texted the number this morning at like 9, and like at 9:21, they text me back and they said, "Hey, if you can come down to XYZ, we can give you your shot right now."
Yeah.
So I got down there, and midnight at noon, boom, there it was. Midnight, yeah, it's one of those days already.
Yeah, if they could have done stuff at midnight, I would have got this done a long time ago.
Right? Yeah, people with real lives and real jobs can't just drop what they're doing at the drop of a hat to go do that. But I'm glad I did it. The 9-month anniversary of my mom's passing from COVID, I got my shot at the exact same time she died, which is really freaky, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, no, and I decided to get mine yesterday when we had a whole heap of stuff going on. So
yeah, yesterday was historic in a good way and shitty in a bad day. But
we will talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and say thank you to some really cool people that have helped us along the way. Big D's Barbershop, awesome people. The Boys and Girls Club, amazing people. Okay. 503 Original, amazing people. The OIWA is an organization just founded by several other individuals here, including myself. And Sir Mo from Men on a Mission, a WWE legend himself, has spearheaded this organization. And they have not one but 2 schools called Bumps and Bruises. We were going to play the commercial this week. We can't get the commercial on there, but what we're going to do is next week I'm going to make sure the commercial is live so everyone get to see it.
Damn right.
And we're going to go ahead and do that. But we have another amazing person I want to thank for being part of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast family. She just joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Her name is Ashley Rose Nova. Ashley,
hey,
what's up, girl? How you doing?
Not a whole lot.
Now, Ashley also got her was it your second shot the other day?
As far as what?
The vaccine.
Vaccination.
Oh, the vaccine. Sorry, I just got in here and I'm trying to adjust everything. Yeah, it was my second.
Nice.
How did you feel the day after?
Tired, mainly. A little sore, but just tired.
So basically, how we feel right now.
I was just told that the Moderna shot, which what I got today and which Tony got yesterday, the side effects affect more women than men.
I'm not too sure about that because I got Pfizer.
That could be the same thing. I'm not really sure, but
nope, different things. So basically, the main difference is with Pfizer, you have to wait 21 days to get the second shot as opposed to 28 days with the Moderna.
Oh, well, that explains why they told me 30 days from today. I'm like, oh my God, that's a long ass time.
Exactly.
Dude, just dose me up twice right now. But, guess can't do that. So anyway, Ashley, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. You're one of the most outspoken people on Twitter right now when it comes to anything professional wrestling, just in life in general.
Really?
Yeah. I love your tweets.
I try.
I love your tweets.
Yeah, right now my community's in the process of changing.
Yeah, I saw that. You want to explain that a little bit more before we include our amazing guest?
I am no longer going to write pro wrestling articles as of Sunday.
As of Sunday.
So pretty much anyone that's followed me only for my wrestling content, I said, if that's what you're expecting, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I am going to go ahead and just move on to other aspects and platforms that I've been wanting to do. 6 years is a long time, and I think the community and, I may come back for the occasional interview, but it's not going to be pro wrestling all the time because I do have other interests and there are other things that I've been wanting to pursue.
Absolutely.
At least the next few years. And, I've had some plans the next few years. So it was originally going to be that I was no longer going to write pro wrestling to the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have just made the decision to go ahead and just advance over to another community, several other communities that, I do have friends in and ones that I wanted to contribute to before I just completely stopped writing or making any type of content.
Well, here on the podcast here, we talk about everything, and I do mean everything. All types of craziness from pro wrestling to MMA, combat sports to anime to, more movies. I mean, I know you're a big movie buff too, Marvel, DC.
Yeah,
Tony's excited about Mortal Kombat.
That's mainly it, and I do know some people did take it personally. And I did have to explain it. My decisions in life as far as any type of career advancements or any type of career is not a personal decision or doesn't personally mean that, anyone's offended me in any aspect. But after a while, I just kind of got tired of explaining it. So I just kind of choose to ignore everyone right now.
So this is what I'm going to do because you asked a very important question on Twitter yesterday. And I liked it. My personal Twitter page liked it. And I was like, I'm going to throw this out there today. Right. Today, you are going to be live on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast with John Cena Sr. Now, you did ask, does that mean you get to put that you work with him on your resume? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen.
Jokingly, because
oh, no. You done threw it out there now. Game on. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to John Cena Sr. John, welcome to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here. You're quite a group, quite a diversified group. I guess what the kid says, you can't see me, but right now you can all see me.
So, John, I'm going to ask you a really quick question before we even start this whole podcast thing on. Let's just throw it out there. Ashley here asked a very inquisitive question on Twitter yesterday, and I'm going to read it to you verbatim. Since I'm going to be on the show with John Cena Sr.
What
tomorrow.
A nice guy, huh?
That's how we get out on the show, man.
You said you went for a glass of water. I think you went for a little vodka myself, but yeah, come on.
Trust
Square
me.
away with the group. I'm drinking water. What are you drinking? Coffee.
It's a big glass of ice water here.
Ashley's the only smart one. She's got it hidden. So, yeah, I know. You can't see it, but it's there.
So, does this mean? Okay, so let me go back. Since I'm going to be on the show with John Cena Sr. tomorrow, does it mean I work with him on my resume? So, John, what are your thoughts? Will you co-sign for Miss Ashley Rose Nova? He's thinking.
I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I heard part of your question, but I have an infection in my ear.
Uh-oh.
It's been driving me crazy. I've got to go to the doctor's tomorrow. So if you repeat it or just speak a little louder, I might pick it up. If not, I'm not going to say anything. So no, you can't see me. You won't even hear me.
Can't hear him now. You can't hear me.
No, I can't hear you.
So Ashley would like to know that since she's on the podcast with you today, can she use you on her resume? Would you co-sign for Miss Nova?
Why not? Why not?
There it is.
Look at the smile. She's got everything in it. Look at smile, personality. She's just there. She wants to move on. She wants to get ahead, is what you said. She's going into diversification. Why not back somebody like that?
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Now, I'll send you the bill after I sign it, but no, I'm only kidding. Only kidding. Absolutely, please.
Oh man. Okay, so Tony
Thank
had
you.
some questions he wanted to ask you, John. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the floor over to Tony real quick.
So, chaotic wrestling, as many of us know, was something of a feeder promotion for WWE at one point, and we know that you've had quite the involvement with them. My question is, who came up with the name Johnny Fabulous?
Okay, next question. No. The way Johnny Fabulous was born is quite simple. I had just gone through a divorce. Sometimes you're bitter, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you say, eh. In my case, I was a little bit down in the dumps, and I saw a request in a paper asking for a ring announcer. And I said, wow, I'd really like to do that. That's going to be fun. My whole life's been, fooling in professional wrestling, having fun with it, managing, promoting. So I went down and tried out for professional wrestling. It was with Knuckle Nelson's at Star Wars Wrestling at Salisbury Beach,
Nice.
which is now the Blue Ocean. I do a lot of weddings there. I'm a justice of the peace. Have a lot of fun. So I went in. I did my shtick, in this corner, weighing in at no. And he said, wow, that's great. You've got a good set of pipes. He said, really like to have you as a ring announcer, but I have someone. I said, hey, man, no problem. I've got somebody else that's asked me to do it. In the meantime, I had talked to my son, John, and I said, should I really do this? He said, and the favorite words from, I have 5 boys, 5 sons. And so they call me the old man. So he said, old man, it's about time you get out of your cave, see the light, and have some fun. So I go down, I do this thing. I'm walking away, and he goes, ho, wait a minute. I said, what's up? He said, I need a heel manager. Oh, right time, right place, right guy. So we're sitting there, and I said, look, if I'm going to be a heel manager, it's got to be completely different. It's got to be a personification of what people dislike. They don't like people who are wealthy, people who are obviously good looking, all this stuff. And so we're sitting there and we said, well, what are we going to call this guy? I said, you can't use Johnny Cash because he's a famous country western singer. We'll get sued. I don't like to make up crazy names like, Johnny King West, Johnny's Barbershop, John the Man, John the Prez. I said, whatever name we pick, it's got to be fabulous. And that was it. Johnny Fabulous was born that night. And so there's Fabo and there's John Cena Sr., 2 personifications. I have so much fun being Johnny Fabulous, believe me. And so that's how Johnny Fabulous came into being. And the first night I made my appearance there, I can tell you this, apparently the heel was born because Miss Hampton Beach was there. And if I can find somebody to pick on, Fabo does a good job at that. So I must have done something right because she was in tears. So, and I'm not proud of that. I'm really not, but it was a bad night. I just walked in as a talent scout, they thought, till I brought in the talent and then started rising the crowd. So that's how Johnny Fabulous came about.
Nice.
Beautiful. I love it.
Ashley, do you have any questions for Mr. Cena?
He's thinking, don't think too hard now, please.
No, not currently. I'm just, I'm just excited.
So John, let's talk about WWE. We don't want to talk about your son. We want to talk about you. What the hell happened with the WWE and John Cena Sr.?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know if you mean the slap across the face, the kick in the head, the main event with Randy Orton. It all was a bunch of fun, except for the kick.
Yeah,
you're
great.
supposed to get a kick out of professional wrestling. Inevitably, I guess I'm living proof that you do get a kick out of it because I still have over my eye the stitches. So rather nice. It was fun. I had a good time. WWE is my family, so to speak. I really, really thoroughly enjoy them. It's a brotherhood and a sisterhood. I'm an advocate. I've been an advocate for a very, very long time. Let's not forget that branch, which they used to kind of sweep under the rug with those stupid mud matches and bra and panty matches and pillow fights. You know, those young women and older women, if we have to use two words, but those professional women can kick some of those guys' asses. And they deserved all the credit that they were not being given. And so WWE for me was just absolutely fabulous. It's a good, I guess that's a good choice of words to use.
Absolutely.
You know, the slap in the face. I've been told by Bruce Pritchard, who was a producer at that time, who's now back with WWE. Vince McMahon said, "That's the worst goddamn thing I ever saw. That's junk. Ain't gonna go anywhere. Piece of shit." And you know what? I just kind of sit back and say, well, and Vince is a wonderful human being, and I have to say that. People have the wrong impression, I think, because of his character. But you know what? They've got so much mileage out of that slap. Cena's down, Cena's down, Cena's down. And you know, we didn't know what to do for that segment. So Edge was here with Lita, and Pritchard's going, come on, you know, let's get serious. We've already shot this 5 times. I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't you talk? I'll say I'm going to go call the police. And you say, oh, hold it, we're leaving. And when you do, turn around and slap me. And I'll take the slap. So he said, okay, I'm going to go. I'll see you later. It's a dump. Turned around, and next thing I know, pow, Cena's down. I took the bump. And I guess they get a ton of mileage out of that. It was fun working with Edge and Lita. Randy Orton was also a lot of fun. I never expected the velocity of that kick. I'll be very honest with you. You know, I always tell the story. I joke because after I did that with Randy, I was an assessor for the city of Methuen. So I'd go to work, and what would happen is, because I had the concussion, the neck brace, my eyes were getting blacker and blacker from the kick, because he knocked me out. He busted me open. I don't know if you saw that. He really busted me open. It was like wham. And so I'm at work now, and I get called upstairs by the mayor. And the mayor said to me, John, are you okay? You look like you've been beat up pretty bad. I said, Mayor, I'm just fine, but you should see the taxpayer. And it was oh man. After that, obviously, I was a little leery working with some people, but I can tell you, a great group of people, a lot of fun. I think the product has changed tremendously, though. I think that the WWE, I just finished a TV segment this morning, and the product seems to be 2-week hold the belt, 30 days hold the belt, no storyline, nothing goes over 30 days, nothing goes longer than 15 minutes. You know, it's all promos. And I was asked a question today about what I thought about pay-per-views. How many pay-per-views is enough? I think 6 a year is plenty. No more than 7. Right? I don't want to see a pay-per-view and a SmackDown, which they think is a pay-per-view. You can't double them up like that. You can't do that many. You can build a beautiful storyline, let it run for a couple of months, and then bang. You know, when I was with Chris, when I did his podcast, he had a great comment. When you open a comic book, you don't want to open up the front page and already you're at the end before you get there. You want to be able to enjoy it. And so you can't have these short feuds. That's why I made a prediction. I'm glad to say for once in my life I was right. I predicted that Lashley would hold on to his title, as would the tribal chief. If they had let those 2 titles go, that would have been the end. It would have been over. Lashley has earned everything he has. I worked several shows with him. What a great human being. And believe me, he's the real deal, like Brock Lesnar. So I'll tell you, some good decisions on their part. I just think it's got to change a little bit. Less comedy, more wrestling. You know, let's have storylines that are meaningful. Let's stop making fun of people. You know, I get tired of that. I'm sorry. It just didn't fit professional wrestling. But I digress. I'm sorry. Did I answer your question?
And then some.
And so
I do have a question from Tommy, but I'm not sure if he's meaning you or Junior, so I'm just going to assume it's you. When will John Cena be returning to the ring?
What's that?
When will you be returning to the ring?
I'm always there. If it wasn't for COVID, I'd probably still be bumping out there. I've kind of grown smarter. I used to go in and bang, 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 and now as a manager, when I'm a nice guy, you get hurt a little bit. You're the guy that's going to take it. As Johnny Fabulous, when I start making derogatory remarks, for example, tag team championship match, my team is in there. She comes out. She great professional wrestler. And I automatically grab the stick and say, you guys have already lost. You've got a woman for a manager. How could you possibly win with a woman as a manager? Well, they won. And then, you set up the match and smarter. Okay, I'll go in. I'll take the first 3 minutes. I'll do the thing. I'll take the beat down and I tag out. And then I just sit there and watch. And then if I'm the guy that's going to get pinned, then I'll go back in for the last minute and a half. So I'm going a little smarter. When I'm John Cena Sr., I stole a move for my son. I hate this attitude adjustment word. It'll always be the FU. Because that's exactly what it is. And when I get him up on my shoulders, I just simply say, ready. And one kid said to me, no, I don't think I am. I said, well, you know what? Fuck you. Bang. And that was it. The FU was given. So I have a lot of fun at it. As soon as we're able to start doing some shows, we're going to be getting back into it. I can't wait. The venues now is starting to open up. They're letting more and more people come in. I've gotten a few calls. I just can't wait to get back in there and have some fun. I'll give you a heads up. If any female wrestlers out there are listening or want to get involved, November 13th for Boston Wrestling, we're going to be doing a show in Melrose. It's an anniversary show. I've always had the dream of doing Fabulous World of Women's Wrestling. I believe that they can stand on their own. Unlike some people, nah, they can and they will. So I'm looking to put together for one night an all-woman wrestling show.
Really?
So if there are any females out there that are interested, you can just shoot off a text to bostonwrestling.com. Just give me some information. Hopefully it'll come to fruition. I think it's going to be one hell of a show, and I'm going to show people because I really know I've worked with some of those women. LaFisto up from Canada, ever worked with that lady? I want to tell you something. I was doing a show with a Big Time Wrestling. We were in Connecticut, and it was Ric Flair. But one of the events was the oh God, I've lost it now. I think.
Well, I can tell you one woman that
Skaggs
I know, two women actually.
and his partner. Skaggs and his partner. Right? Let's just use that. I forget the name. What you might know it. Quick. What is it?
Shit.
They just did an interview with him. Not the Beastie Boy. Oh, come on. I can't think of it now. But anyway, she was on the bad side. They were on the good side. And I have to tell you something. I've seen a lot of shows, and this is before the women started doing what the men did. They took this young lady, literally picked her up and threw her through a table. This young lady was one tough pro. Outstanding. So don't ever, anybody, and I did that today with this guy, don't ever sit there and tell me that these young ladies or these women involved in this sport can't take it and can't go toe-to-toe. She was outstanding. I did another show where I guess I was the first guy to do a women's tables, ladders, and chair match. Wow. Even before they started doing it. Nice. Just to say that, you know what? So I'm looking forward to it. November 13th, I think it's going to be. Hopefully, I can get it all and make it all come together. If it doesn't,
By Skaggs, you mean Too Cold Scorpio by chance?
Yep.
No, I've worked with him too. He's fun. They're a tag team.
Oh, okay.
It was a tag
I
team.
know for a fact there are two women I have in mind that I know definitely who can
Yes.
benefit from this show.
I've been wanting to say.
There's a woman that works for us. Her name is Sunny Days.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good old Southern peach. She's pretty freaking awesome. And then there's this, this chick that's going to be on here today. She recently debuted on AEW AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. I mean, she's faced Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in like the course of like 2 days. She's a real tough ass woman, Shawna Reed. So I'll make sure that her information and Sunny Days' information get forwarded to you, John.
Yeah, please. I look forward to it, and hopefully I can make this come to fruition. And hopefully, if it goes well, I would like to make sure that Boston Wrestling does it at least twice a year. I can just see this. WWE has tried to let these young ladies come out and give them a spot, but you know what? And I'm going to say it. I'll probably get my ass kicked for saying it. The worst thing they could have done to those women during the Royal Rumble was have that stupid fiasco with that 24/7 title. They destroyed everything those young ladies were working to achieve. That was not the thing to do. I'm sorry. You would never have done that if a woman came out and tried to interrupt the men's match. It just would never have happened. It just didn't make any sense to me.
You and I are 100% in agreement. Absolutely.
There's so much shit we can say about that.
We'll agree on that. I do have a question, though.
Sure, please.
Okay. I recently interviewed Jazz, and I always ask this question, anytime I get a chance. What are your fundamentals to pass on to the future generation in pro wrestling? Men, women, anyone coming up?
You said you interviewed Jazz?
Yes, I did.
She is I tell you, I got to tell you a quick story about her. John was at OVW in Kentucky, and his match was against Ric Flair and his son. Because everybody in this business is a mark. If you tell me you're not a mark, then you're not part of this business. Well, you know what? I remember sitting at a bar. I had just finished a show with John, and we're there at the bar, and Michael Hayes is here. I'm here. Pat Patterson is here. And Pat, God rest his soul, a very good friend, a tremendous human being. People should learn a lesson from that man. But he's saying, I just want to tell you, this wrestling business, it's a hard thing. You learn hard business. It's a good business. And so Michael Hayes goes, hey, Pat, that's Cena's old man. He's in it. He's in the business. Whether you tell me he's a mark like all of us. And Jazz, the story with Jazz was, here we are at Six Flags doing the show. And so me being the mark, I admire her work. Her husband's also. And I went over and I said, hi, may I take a picture with you? And I get this look like, who the heck are you? And I'm telling you, don't mess with that lady. Don't do it. And I said, excuse me, I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm one of the wrestlers' dads. Who? And I told her, and she said, oh, yeah, sure, take a picture. And every time I see her now, what a wonderful human being. But as far as what can I pass on to the younger generation that's coming up and those people who want to get into this business, the first thing is I would say to them is, I guess I'm going to take a page from my son's book, Never Quit, Never Give Up. Believe in yourself. The thing that I find wrong when I do some of these indie shows is, this isn't about me getting my shine. It's about us telling a story. So don't get out there. I had one show, first match, 27 moves. They came to the back and, me, I got a big mouth. I said, so what the hell was that all about? What do you mean? I said, every move you just did out there, see the rest of these men and women, what the hell are they supposed to do now? Well, we had to get our shine. It's not about getting your shine. I did another show with he's now Donovan Dijak. I was managing Donovan, and he was a giant. And he went out with this young man, and we talked the match, and I go out cheering him on, and he's destroying everybody. And all of a sudden, this kid comes out. Mr. Zagami is his name, and Donovan's on his knees. Donovan's down. He flies off the rope. He's on his back. I'm going, what the hell is this all about? To myself. And the next thing I know, Donovan nails him and pins him. We go to the back, and I said, that's not what we talked about. Why? What happened here? And the answer from the other individual was, well, I had to get my shine. No, you had to go out there and get beat in less than 2 minutes. That was the job. And so my advice to young men and women today is love what you do. Take care of the people in the ring that you work with. Learn. There is no ring psychology taught anymore. They don't teach the young people this. They don't teach them how to cut promos. Most of these people, if they don't have a script, they can't cut a promo. I'm looking at some of the pros on Impact or WWE, AEW. It's like, my name is William James. I'm going to beat your ass. Okay. I know, because I drink Coca-Cola. No. I'm telling you to go to a good school. Learn well. Don't get in that ring till you've been in that school for at least a year. These young men and women that come out of these schools, they're in the ring 3 months after. The whole idea of being in that ring is for me to take care of you and for you to take care of me. Care about those you love and those you work with. My life is in your hands. And the other thing I tell young men and women, I got to make it to the big time. Walter Kowalski, God rest his soul, had a saying, shoot for the moon. And who knows, on the way up, you just might grab a star. Be happy where you are. Be happy doing what you're doing. If you love this business, be happy. Setting up the ring, do whatever it is you do. Enjoy it. Love it. Learn. People say to me, I got to work, Tony Atlas, good friend of mine. And Tony is forever telling people how to get better and better. And they just kind of blow it off. You cannot buy the advice that Ric Flair, Tony Atlas, Honky Tonk Man, all these guys have had the pleasure of working with. Jake the Snake Roberts, God rest his soul. Sunday night they're doing a A&E special on Roddy Piper. The knowledge that they carry, learn and learn well. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because there's no such thing as a mistake. A mistake is a journey. It might have been a wrong turn. We can always make it right. Learn from what you've done. Be open-minded and work hard. Stay with it. You're overweight. I can never be a wrestler. Yes, you can. Believe in yourself. You don't have to be this jock guy or this bouncy, cute little woman. So believe in yourself. Never quit. Never give up. Pay attention to where you're going and what you want. You will always achieve the goal. You may never reach the top, but isn't it better to have climbed the mountain halfway than have never tried to climb it all? Man. And so I always tell them this. Learn your promos. When you're gonna, how you learn promos. Walter Kowalski used to say he did promos, and what he used to do was listen to the radio, get all the information about where he was wrestling and who he was wrestling with, and he talked back and forth. People think I'm nuts. I talk to the mirror. Mm-hmm. I just get in front of there and I just spouting off. Learn who your opponent is. Work with them, and don't try to do the match in the back. I hate that. The only thing you need to know in this business is the open and the close. That's all you need to know. The rest is whatever you decide in that ring, because when you screw up, somebody's going to be all over you. All over you. Like, what the hell did you do that for? You weren't supposed to do that. You know what?
What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah, and let's just do it right. So these young men and women need to dedicate themselves to this profession, because it is a profession. It's an art. And they're true athletes. They need to believe that.
Here's the thing that I've seen over the course of 28 years. I've watched guys. And I mean, I was at UPW with John. I got to wrestle John in his last match at UPW before he went to OVW. So I've been around this business so long. I tell people all the time, dude, it's the best thing to do is to know your beginning, know you're finished. And when you go out there, the first 10 seconds out of that curtain, the crowd is going to determine whether they like you or hate you.
Yep.
So you doing 10,000 flashy ass moves, no one's going to remember that. They're going to remember either you won or you got beat. That's it. The promo thing, when I first started wrestling, they literally told me, go stand in a bathroom and look at that mirror. If you can convince yourself that you're a badass and you can beat your own ass, then you can cut a good promo. Until then, don't try it.
No,
you got these kids that these kids, they go to one seminar and their buddy buys a wrestling ring from High Spots and they bring in a vet who's been in the business 20, 30 years on the downside. They do a show and this guy gets to wrestle the guy. This guy's wife's the lead manager, his best friend's the referee and the commissioner, and they buy belts from the Pakistani companies, and now they're like professional wrestlers. No one fucking learns how to wrestle these days.
Thank you very much. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, and they want to prep the spots. They want to prep 15, 20, 30, 40 spots. Well, guess what? You're going to get in the ring, you're going to forget one spot, and then you're going to be that guy who forgets the one spot and wants to circle back to do it again. The crowd's going to see it. It's going to be shit. So I totally 1,000% agree.
Yeah, nobody knows if you screw up but you. And the other thing, I tell people all the time is Triple H had a great thing, and advice is advice. Paul Levesque is Paul Levesque. But when you come to the curtain, he's Triple H. John Cena Sr. is John Cena Sr. And when he's Johnny Fabulous, when I open that curtain, there's a whole different persona. The trouble with people today is they got these names, but they don't have the character. Exactly. And you know what? I hate people that get in the ring and go, shut up, you suck. You're not going to get over that way. Look at Paul Heyman. Take a look at Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero convinced you she was a heel with one word, excuse me. Paul Heyman doesn't even have to open his mouth. He just walks out and gets booed. That's a good sign. You don't have to say a whole lot to get over. Action speaks louder than words. Bobby Heenan, I had the honor of working with Captain Lou Albano, God rest his soul. What a great guy he was. He didn't have to say a lot. It was all done. They're not teaching this. The schools are taking the money but not producing the product, as far as I'm concerned. There are a lot of good schools out there. But kids today, young men and women, they just want to get in so badly that they'll go anywhere, and they're not being taught properly. They don't do it. It's school. NXT is the college of professional wrestling. It's where you learn from the ground up. By the way, Ashley, did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, you did. No, you did. Yes, you did.
So I think that's the big problem. They don't teach them anything. You've got to learn promos. Promos is talking to yourself, convincing the crowd. I don't have to go out there and tell them Johnny Fabulous is a bad guy. I just go out there and say, oh, my God, here I am. Here I am in Worcester, Massachusetts, coming down the highway. You know what? The porta potties smell better than Worcester, Massachusetts. And, man, by the way, is that your son? Yes, it is. Now I know why birth control doesn't work. So that's all you have to do. You don't have to go out there and say, you suck, shut your mouth, you're an ass, shut up. That doesn't work. And sometimes I don't have to say anything. I just go with my Fabo bucks and go, I was really looking tonight to take a beautiful woman home with me, but I guess I'll save money tonight. There aren't any, And then when I do Maine, I always play that joke, in Maine. And I switch with Massachusetts women, but when I do it in Mass, I go, I know in Massachusetts, because when I'm in Maine, you can tell the difference. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the difference between a woman in Massachusetts and Maine is the women in Maine carry a gun and have no teeth. And so it's but I don't care because what am I supposed to be? And they hate me. I have yachts. The Kennedys borrow money from me. Biden's called me twice. I had to help Trump out. So people hate that persona. So when you come out flashing this money, I don't say two words. You automatically get booed. And when you cheat, it doesn't take a whole lot to get you over. As soon as you pull that guy's tights or you take that jab, it's over. You're it for the night. Don't have to say a word. And the next time they see you, they don't like you. So these kids don't learn this. They don't learn it.
Now, John, before we let you go, I got a game we play here. We love to bring people on the show and play this game. The game is real simple. It's called team with, feud with, or fire. Real simple concept. You can team with anyone in the industry, alive or dead, no matter who it is. You can feud with anyone, alive or dead, and you can fire any SOB you want. No excuses needed unless you want to give us one. So, team with, feud with, fire.
I really don't have anybody. I don't have anybody I'd like to fire. Truly, I've never reached that point where I'd like to fire anybody. Even in looking at some of the professional wrestlers today, I suppose if I had to be picky, and I had to, and you say to me, well, it's only make believe, and really,
there's also been some pretty interesting loopholes that people have used with the whole firing thing. Last week, for instance.
Well, you could sit right here and say, you know what, Elias, I think your work sucks. So right now, you're fired. Why would I fire him? Because I'm so damn sick of him coming out there with that guitar, trying to be a ripoff of Jeff Jarrett, going kerplunk, kerplunk, kerplunk. You can't sing, you can't play, and you broke so many guitars, it's keeping everybody working in my factories. So you know what? Have a nice day. Good luck in your future endeavors. Maybe you're moving on with life. Who knows what you're going to do? But I think the world of Elias. But I guess if you're going to pick on somebody, I think he's a good guy to pick on right now. I could always pick on Tucker. I couldn't take that either. I'd put a muzzle on the guy and let him go. And he's already been let go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, who would you team with, and who would you feud with?
Who would I team with? Team up? If I were to team with somebody?
You're a manager, tag team, whatever, whatnot.
Anyone.
If I had somebody said to me, you've got to go into a match and you've got to team up with somebody, he probably wouldn't come out of retirement to do it, but I couldn't think of a better tag team partner than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nice.
Wow. Not even your son, huh?
Real.
Damn.
Boy, I got to say this. And I say this in jest. I'll probably get a phone call tomorrow. Oh, man, you threw me under the bus. Who said John Cena is my favorite wrestler?
Legit.
Actually, when I see that look in your finger, holy shit, he didn't say that. I did. I love my son. We don't talk business, so and I don't talk about him, and I hope he doesn't talk about me. But if you're looking to see somebody that's going to give you that attitude era and somebody who can really make this show believe, Stone Cold Steve Austin is at the top of my list. No question about it.
Now, who would you feud with?
Who would I feud with? Well, we know it's not going to be Orton. Although I will say this. It's too bad that John had the injury, because I think when I did the thing with Randy Orton, I would have liked nothing better than to have a tag match, with Cowboy Bob Orton, a good friend, and Randy in one corner, and John Cena Sr. and John Cena Jr. in the other. And, I can just hear Bob Orton, don't worry about it, son. I'm going to take good care of you. You're going to have a good time. Going to be a good match. But I'll tell you right now, that would be a dream tag team match. I would team up with my son, and I would take Orton and Orton against Cena and Cena. It would be a great match. I think it'd sell tickets. I just think it'd be
most definitely. It would sell tickets.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, John, thank you very much, man, for joining us here tonight on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, sir. It has been an honor and a privilege to have you on the show.
Same here, my friend.
And once we open up the doors at BCW Worldwide, I will be giving you a call.
I'm here. If you ever need me, give me a call back. Ashley, it's a pleasure to meet you, young lady. Continue with the journey you're on. There are a lot of rewards at the end of the road. So never give up, never quit, move forward. Keep that attitude and that smile. You go a long way with that. Trust me. And Mr. DeBurn, you have a wonderful day. I'm sorry your arm's hurting. Mr. Blood, you know the story goes. Mr. Blood's on one side, DeBurn is here. There's no one looking at me, and I say, bye. It's time to say, I don't hurt. Cheer.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been John Cena Sr. We will be right back with Shawna Reed after this exciting message from our sponsors.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane!
get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. And man, that was exciting.
We learned a lot.
And Lone Star of Blood, that was an awesome show with John Cena SR. Thank you, Lone Star. And actually, it looks like you got another notch in your belt for your resume.
Yeah, so let's see where esports takes me now.
Right?
if it, if the next year or two doesn't work out, I'll be back.
All right.
Because do we ever actually retire in pro wrestling?
Hell
No, we don't.
We know
Now,
one guy
speaking
who's retired about 37 times now.
Oh my God, yes, that's true. Now, speaking of pro wrestling, we have someone that, like I said, made their debut on AEW Dark in AEW Dark Elevation. Two spectacular matches, I gotta say. Thunder Rosa is a hard-hitting SOB, and she had a great match with her, as well as Britt Baker, DDM. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hell by fire, holy!
Right, I know, right? Just throw it to the lions, why don't you? Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Shawna Reed. Shawna, welcome to the podcast. Welcome back, I should say.
Right? Good to be back.
Look at her. The last time she was on the podcast, she was in Texas and she was at Dustin Rhodes School. And I told her, I said, that's a springboard to AEW. And she said, well, the first thing Dustin said was, he's not a gateway to AEW. And now look.
Well, that is what he said. Why?
What he said, what he claims, and what actually happens.
Right,
entirely different ends of the spectrum.
I did that probably in like a gist anyways. So
tell us what's been going on with you since we last spoke. I mean, obviously.
well, you've obviously said it.
Well, I mean, tell the fans what it was like. I mean, you got to wrestle Thunder Rosa. You got to wrestle fucking Dr. Britt Baker. I mean, like you've done like some amazing things in the last like 2 months.
Yeah, I know. It's been really crazy these last few weeks. I just got back to Ohio from living in Texas for 3 months doing Dustin's school. And as soon as I got back, like 3 days later, I was on a plane to go to AEW. And when I kind of had a little bit of leeway where I knew who I was wrestling the first day. So when they told me it was Britt, I was like, okay, that's freaking awesome. Because I knew, right now she's their, top girl. And actually I was on a show with Britt at the very beginning of her career, the very beginning of my career. So it was really cool, like seeing her there. And now, even though I'm not an assigned talent, like, oh, look, here we are years later down the road on a bigger stage. So that was really cool. Thunder Rosa has been a dream match of mine since I started the business. So to get to do that, like I was a giddy schoolgirl, and no pun intended. But literally was so excited. And to have her, we actually got to lock up and wrestle around in the ring a little bit prior to the show to feel each other out. So that was already really, really cool. And but to get to do it on that, once again, big of a stage was like just like a dream come true for me. I was a little kid in like a candy store. It was awesome. And like Thunder is amazing, Britt's awesome, and Rebel is hilarious. I've got to work her a few times in Pittsburgh. So
Right.
that was cool.
Was at ringside.
Yeah, so it was really, really cool.
So on the down low between the four of us here, I mean, the people listening at home, you know, the ones that are watching at home, and the ones that are listening on all,
And the ones that are going to listen later.
Yeah. Then the ones that are going to listen later. You
Between
know,
us and the other 1,000 people.
Yeah. Besides them, besides those people. Exactly. So tell us the deets. Spill some tea. I mean, like we need some tea spilled on this show today. What is it like backstage at AEW with all the chaos, with the open door policy, with the AEW and Impact Wrestling and the Joshis and Stardom and New Japan, and like, what's it really like?
It's actually like really laid back, super laid back. It's really, really cool. So I went with Dustin, and Dustin had to get there really early every single day because he runs a training class for the women prior to the show. Whichever assigned talent that's there, if they want to do class, they do class. So I got to sit and watch that. Cody does stuff with his school where I watched them do a promo class. And so he had his students get in the ring and cut a promo in front of freaking Jake the Snake Roberts, Arn Anderson, Dustin Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and MJF. So I'm like getting just to sit there and watch, and thank God that I'm not up there cutting a promo in front of all those people, because I was
no pressure or anything.
Right? Yeah, don't be scared.
I just got to listen and watch and be in awe because I'm such a mark for Arn, Jake. I was just like, all those guys I'm such a mark for. And just listen to them and listen to them talk. It was really, really cool. But I've been backstage at a few other bigger companies, and it's so strict, and it's so like fly on the wall, or you're supposed to like dress super, super like nice. I dressed super nice the first day at AEW and realized I was the only person dressed nice.
They're like, girl, we're wearing joggers and a t-shirt. Why are you in a three? Why are you in heels? You're wearing Chucks.
Right? Like, I'm here like to like, I thought this was the memo that I'm supposed to like look like business casual, or just like look really nice. And so the other days I was like, screw this, workout pants, sports bra, screw
right.
So,
now, if that was WWE, they'd be like, yeah, so go home. Don't come back.
Because I was wearing heels that first day, and me being a 5'10" tall girl, plus heels, plus not very, good with those. It sucked.
So, Ashley, do you have any questions for the pretty little psycho over here?
So, did you have any other dream matches that perhaps that you would, if you were asked to, of course, return to AEW, that you're interested in, going for? I know, that's great that you wrestled Thunder Rosa. She's absolutely amazing. But anyone else you have your eye on that you want to face?
Well, if you were meaning just at AEW, I'd like to wrestle all those girls there. The fans actually have really been tweeting at me, Dustin, and AEW in general ever since the Dustin's showcase. They want to see me versus Abaddon, or they want to see us tagged. It's I get tweets about that so much, and I think that'd be awesome. She's so small, she looks big on TV.
I had no idea that you were 5'10".
Yeah,
I had no idea. How about Impact? Any knockouts you would be interested in facing?
Well, I've wrestled Jessica Havoc, and I've wrestled God, what's her name? Nevaeh.
Nevaeh.
Yeah.
Well, what's her name?
Right. So I've gotten those two out of the way. I really, really like to wrestle Su Yung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a great match for you.
I think that'd be amazing. If not her, then we can freaking tag, because who doesn't want an undead zombie bride and a psychotic person who talks to nobody but myself on a team.
Yeah, and she's got that 3 like personality thing going on.
Exactly. And my character is I'm like a split personality. I talk to like myself, my head. I talk to voices. So it would work great.
But yeah, no, that would be a great matchup for you, I think.
Yeah.
Even you and Rosemary, I think would be great too.
I was supposed to follow her a few years ago, and it got canceled and switched out to Chelsea Green.
I was going to say, what about Chelsea Green and her pretty hot mess gimmick?
Yeah.
Well, at that time, she was not really doing the hot mess. I mean, she might have been doing the hot mess gimmick, but she didn't dress like that or anything. She was just in like her black gear, and she put her. So like, and I wasn't doing a psychotic character, and I was like less than a year in the business. So I feel like now we could probably make some magic.
Well, she's a free agent right now, and
right.
AEW looks like it might be the promised land for her.
AEW is like the promised land for anybody right now. It's
pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Like okay, so everyone knows that I belong to a WWE producers type group, and they bash AEW so fucking much. It annoys the fuck out of me.
I'm for every promotion. I'm for Impact, AEW, WWE. I have nothing bad to say about any promotion. The only reason why is because I cannot fault them for giving performers, workers, ring announcers, agents, anyone jobs. I cannot fault them for that. Whether, you may disagree with the storyline or, maybe this isn't your style of wrestling. That's, anyone's preference in general in the wrestling community. But I cannot personally say anything bad about WWE. I can't personally say anything bad about AEW or Impact. I love Impact. A lot of my main articles are about AEW. I've done stuff for WWE and WrestleMania. To me, as long as y'all, because I'm from Texas, I'm gonna say y'all.
Yeah.
As long as y'all have jobs y'all are taken care of, I can't say anything. And that's always been my concern, is that the performers' safety, well-being, and can you, take care of yourself out there. And that's what I care about personally. So I'm not going to sit there on Twitter and say something bad about AEW, WWE, NXT, Impact, any really good indie promotion. We have a lot of decent ones, and we still have some, that could use a little bit more work and the independents, but I can't fault them. And that's all I really care about, is the performer being taken care of.
Toby just said, she said, y'all.
Y'all. I mean, it's hard habit to kick. They teach you that that's a word here.
Yeah. Same here in Ohio and Kentucky. I got you.
You guys are ridiculous. I love it. So John Cena Sr. is mentioned earlier tonight about a all-woman show in Boston. So, of course, I threw your name in the hat.
Heck yeah. No, I was actually backstage when that was happening.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. When he said that, I went right onto that website and started.
I figured you did. I saw you in the green room.
But the thing is, when I went to submit it, it's not allowing any thing to submit. So they might want to get their message board checked out, because I tried.
I think you also mentioned there was a direct email address as well.
Okay, I didn't get that part. But,
so what I'll do is I will give him your email address. So make sure you text it to me right now.
Right now?
Well, not right now, but text it to me. Yeah, exactly right. She's like, I'm good. Text it to me. And I'll go ahead and I'll shoot him a text tonight. Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he couldn't remember the name of a tag team that he was talking about, and he just texted me and he said it was the Nasty Boys. He was trying to remember.
Ironically,
I
have a picture of the Nasty Boys from one of their house shows, in my hometown, that I actually found in a box. Well, it's actually I was at my mother's, and she had a box of pictures, and there was a lot of old WWF photos. There's pictures of Owen Hart in there. The Nasty Boys were in there. Razor Ramon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Well, Shawna, before we go, I know you want to give out some shout outs, and I'm going to shoot your Twitter information up and all that like that, but I do want to give a shout out to my sister and my nieces and nephews who are watching me for the first time. What up? So with that being said, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to for helping you get to where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go with my trainers. You know, my very first trainer, Cody Hawk, who's actually sitting right behind me.
What up, Cody? We see you.
And then unfortunately Super Zeta is no longer with us, so he's my guardian angel. And then of course Dustin Rhodes for, you know, helping me get the gimmick, helping me, like, pushing me to go straight to AEW, after giving me the opportunity, I guess I should say, that's a better word for it, to be the first student that he had to go there, and that he chose me to be the person to represent his school and represent him on AEW was really cool. So I would be nowhere without those three men. That each of them saw something in me. Each of them pushed me to legit my breaking point. And I couldn't be more thankful to them. So
Cool.
That's
Very
awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I understand we
Ladies and
have a
gentlemen.
bit of a shout out from one of our mutual friends. Let me see if I can just pull that up here real quick. Just give me
No,
one
he is
moment.
constantly taking time on our show, Tony. Do not do it. God damn it, Tony. Do not do it.
Too late.
This fucking guy, man. Look, Shawna, this dude has his own hashtag on our show. It is so bad. Literally, this dude. Oh my God, look.
So I can't bring up. Yeah.
Guys everywhere.
Our good
He is
friend
everywhere.
Sign Guy says, if Shawna had not pinned me, then I would be undefeated against her.
well, I mean, then you shouldn't have lost.
Boom.
Fair enough.
That's right, Sign Guy. You heard that? You lost. You suck. Okay, Sign Guy. I know you're everywhere. You know. And look, he's like, you guys ever watch that one? And I'm pretty sure that Ashley was gonna know this reference. You know that movie where you say the person's name in the mirror 3 times and they appear?
Mhm.
Don't say it, because if you say his name 3 times, he's gonna fucking pop up on the podcast just out of nowhere. He does it all the time. So yeah, he is everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. He is like a fungus on my shoe. He is like he is the bane of my existence.
That's a good hashtag. Sign Guy is fungus.
I have fired that guy so many goddamn times.
Mhm.
He just keeps coming back.
like a rash. He's like herpes. There's no cure.
Ever. Go.
I'm just joking, Sign Guy. I'm just joking. You know,
Keeps
I love you.
popping up when you least expect him.
Right? If we keep talking about it, he might just pop up on the damn, and he just sent me a goddamn text.
Hashtag
See what I mean? He just sent
Yep.
me a text.
There it is.
He says, "Tell Shawna I says hello." No, I'm not. Oh shit! I just did it.
God damn it.
No.
you just got work.
I did get work. Look at that. Look,
You,
running wild.
Even
Jesus Christ.
you just
even,
watched
at,
Guy
even
Herb-
after Mania week, he's still going.
Right? Yeah, it's like Mania, like 2 weeks now. All of a sudden, just running wild.
Sign
man, I
Guy
tell you.
Mania
Let me tell you,
Forever.
forever.
I love him.
Ever.
He just
I love
points
him
at
for the
every
simple
single
fact.
sign.
Right? He just walk around, just
He takes an opportunity to make it his own Mania, his own.
I love
moment.
him for the simple fact that he always sends me a text when he sees that I'm traveling somewhere and says to me, "Hey, Blood, do me a favor, man. Who's your favorite referee?" And I'm like, "You're my favorite referee. Then bring me a postcard from wherever you go." I'm like, "Are you
Bring me a
serious?" He's like, "Yeah."
postcard.
So
That's all
literally-
he wants is a postcard.
Yes.
Yep.
Every time I'm in the
That's the
airport,
gimmick.
and it's like,
That's
I
the
don't know
gimmick.
if he's like watching me, like he legitimately is everywhere, but like I will be in an airport and I will be just walking through the airport. I get a text, ring, "Hey, can you get me a?" I'm like, "How the fuck did you know I'm here?"
Let him be there, not even putting it on social media, but someone will leak the information to him.
Right? Man, I'm
He's
telling
got
you,
a
man.
source. He has a source.
He has an anonymous Tony. Is it you?
No comment.
Wow.
How much is he paying you?
Under the bus. Anyway, Shawna, thank you very much for joining us. I know it's almost midnight where you are, and you got to be up and early doing your thing. So, you got any parting words for anyone that you may be facing at AEW soon, or where fans might want to tweet their tweets to the persons in charge?
Well, always tweet your tweets to Tony Khan and tell him you want me back. That's always a thing.
At Tony
right, so-
Khan.
She wants that con coin. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She needs that con coin. You can find her on Instagram right there, _Shawna Reed. You can find her on Twitter at twitter.com/Shawna Reed 93. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be up in her DMs. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, she is a pretty badass. She will beat you up. Oh, fuck. Look at this. Sign guy to AEW. God damn it.
Oh boy.
Hashtag herpes.
Somebody better get the herpes and L. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been
night.
Shawna Reed. Thank you, Shawna, for joining us.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You have a permanent seat at the table whenever you want to come on here. You just gotta hit me up, let me know, and trust me, I will make room for you.
Sounds good. And when all this pandemic opens up, I better be booked by you because you know who your favorite female wrestler is.
Dude, if the pandemic wouldn't have slapped us around, you'd already been in Portland.
Yeah, right.
I remember talking to her and saying, "Hey, I want to book you to come work in BCW Worldwide." And she was like, "Let's do it." And I got a date, and she was all excited, and I was all excited. And then COVID was like,
Remember that? I remember this.
COVID was like, "Hold my beer."
It was legit the day that you messaged me. It was so crazy timing because I was booking my flight to you when you texted.
Oh,
Yep. I remember you were like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I'm sorry."
I was like, oh, okay. This is how we're playing.
I was all heartbroken. Sign guy was like, "Can I wrestle her?" I'm like, "No,
No.
back up, you freak."
shut up, sign guy. Damn it.
Here, dude. Put your cream on.
Cream on.
Look at him a post.
Oh. Yeah, yeah. You know what you should do? Why don't you shoot me a postcard from where you are? And then I'll just be like, "Hey, sign guy, Shawna sent you this postcard."
This is what we're doing.
Oh man.
So, all righty. Well,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this has been the Preload Psycho, the new AEW Dark and Dark Elevation superstar.
Oh.
Shawna Reed. Yeah, that's gonna be a new catchphrase.
oh,
That's right. Yes, you.
making me sound a little bit more important than I really am. Hell yeah.
Wow, I gotta put you over. Somebody's got to, right?
About damn time.
There it is. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Shawna Reed. We'll be right back with more of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast after this.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news.
Breaking news.
The governor of the state of Oregon has just opened up combat sports. All sports, indoors, outdoors, are now open, which means
No, this
stay
is something I was
tuned,
going to bring up here.
because BCW Worldwide is going to be back open as soon as possible.
Okay, here it is. Yeah, let's actually bring it up here on screen, as a matter of fact, just in case anybody has any doubts. Okay, there it is. Oregon will allow indoor combat sports despite COVID surge. So yeah, that was another thing I wanted to bring up as well. The COVID surge throughout the state has been considerable, but let's go ahead and state officials say a fourth surge in rising number of patients hospitalized because of COVID-19. Despite
Go
this,
get your vaccines, ladies and gentlemen.
yes,
Wear a
please.
goddamn mask.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown will ease restrictions by allowing indoor full contact sports to restart by the end of the week. End of the week. Low contact indoor sports were already permitted, but the new rules for the first time since last spring will allow Oregonians of all ages to engage in indoor basketball, cheerleading, wrestling, water polo, among other sports. Let's see. Over the past month, new daily cases have increased about 150%, including 55% in the past 2 weeks, which is going to bring me to something else I'm going to bring up here in just a moment. But that's faster than the national average, with new cases rising in the United States 4% in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, so we've got the green light now, but please, we
Wear a
need
goddamn
to
mask.
wear the mask, get vaccinated. So something else I was going to bring up real quick. I'm going to share screen on this as well.
And while you're doing that, has anyone ever seen Parker Boudreaux wrestle?
I don't know that I have. But
I don't think that I have, but he's following all of us, I think.
Like, he is such a huge, like, he's a big Brock Lesnar looking dude. He's at
Is
right
it-
now. He's at NXT. He's training. You know, he calls himself the Destroyer of Gods. But has anyone ever seen him fucking wrestle?
I haven't.
I just had to know.
Yeah. I ain't seen shit, Captain. Anyway, so you can see this is the current map of the COVID-19 risk levels throughout the state. Now, if you notice that little area kind of right here, this hold on, let me refresh that. So you see this little area here, Clackamas County, Marion County, Multnomah County. These were all levels that were in the yellow, moderate, just as of, a couple
3
weeks
days ago.
Yeah. Just very recently, but now we're starting to see this surge. And these are all in heavy metropolitan areas, except, so if you see that little green spot there, right here for Lane County, where you've got Eugene, Springfield, basically the whole University of Oregon-ish area. So even though it's also starting to go up, not at the level that the rest of the state is, but is still going to be considered a high risk level here pretty soon. This is stuff that can be avoided. This could be avoided. And realistically, we need to be doing better. We were on such a good track here just recently, up until the last couple of weeks. We were doing so well.
It happens, and people, you guys need to understand, like, everyone's so, like, they want this, they want that, they want sports to come back, they want a life, they want their lives back, they want to be able to do whatever the things that they were doing before, right? And I totally get it. I'm totally down with that, because I want life to be normal too.
A lot of us do.
But I'm also getting vaccinated. I'm also wearing a fucking mask. I'm also, making sure that the people in my home, the people that I love, the people that I'm around on a daily basis, the people that I know, like Tony, like you, Ashley, they're making sure that these people are safe. Because if you're not safe, then there's no going back to normal.
No, absolutely not.
I know people that don't want to wear a mask. I think it's a hoax. And then when they think it's a hoax, then, they die. And then, people get sick.
Or they also think getting vaccinated, that they can't get COVID. It just basically means you just don't die from it. So
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what the vaccination is all about. It is to decrease the effects of COVID. So if you get vaccinated, it's not saying, oh, you got vaccinated, you're cured. No, it's not that you're cured. And I know people are upset about it. Like, they're like, I'm not going to get a shot because, I'm going to have to get a shot 6 months from now because, this, and this. It's not about, like Toby says, he's getting his second shot next week.
I got mine yesterday, which took me so long to get back to you. And I was like, I'm sorry, I fell asleep.
Yeah, you were like, I've been off and on sleeping. I totally get it.
Same.
The thing about the shot is that it's decreasing the effects of COVID.
Yeah.
So people are dying.
It doesn't mean you're not going to get it. And that's the misconception I think that people have.
A huge misconception. And another misconception that a lot of people have is that this covers all strains. Absolutely does not.
No, it doesn't. And it's a virus that just keeps changing and changing, unfortunately. Wear a mask. I'm still going to wear a mask, like, regardless.
Same.
And,
Absolutely.
I been wanting to travel, like everyone else. I want to leave the state. Everyone I know is in Florida, in Georgia, in California, in, all these places. And I am where I'm at. So, if anything, like, I want to get out there too, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, unfortunately. So,
I tell people this all the time, and it's very prevalent. Look, stay home, stay safe, and just love one another. Real simple. And
it's messed up because we want to get back to normal. We want to be able to travel again. I'm trying to plan a trip for New Orleans later on this summer, and then another one to Vegas in September. We have to be careful that we actually have these opportunities. I want to go to Georgia. I want to go to Florida within like the next month or two. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, unfortunately. It's, unfortunately, that's the way it is, it's sad to say that it's life right now.
Yeah.
And get vaccinated, wear a mask. If you're going to any indie events, please keep your mask on.
Yes.
Let's not have another fucking WrestleMania weekend where every time the camera pans to the crowd, no one was wearing a mask.
Or please wear your mask correctly.
Oh, yeah. God, yes.
Don't wear it down to here. It's not going to protect you. Yeah. You have to cover your nose because that's primarily where it enters.
Y'all, if you're leaving it down this way, you just remember your dick's hanging out.
That's right.
Your zipper's down.
That's right, Tony. That's right. Everyone knows, man. It's simple because, if you walk up to a guy and like, hey, your dick's hanging out, what's he gonna do? He's gonna look down and zip his pants up, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing about your mask. If your nose is hanging out, you should pull your mask up, man. It's crazy. But Ashley, thank you for joining us. You're always welcome here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. You got a seat here at the table. You can come shoot your shit with us anytime.
Yeah, we'll see how things go within now and the end of the year and next year with the community changes. It's really odd to see my timeline change and my account change. So the more I remind people that there's Sunday's my last article. It's my last Kenny Omega article. And it's weird to see people rotate out and then new people rotate in on my account. And it's weird to see an odd combination of gaming, movies, and wrestling, other than just primarily wrestling. So it's going to be an interesting change. It's a little off right now, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to benefit, especially everyone that I do contributions with or shows that I come on. I think it's going to help everyone in the long run. Not only just myself, but I think it's going to be nice to have a flux of all entertainment.
And that's really awesome you're like branching out to so many people. You know,
Yeah, it's different. You know, it is difficult. A lot of people, like I said, took it personal or they were upset. But at the end of the day, I had to explain that it is my choice, my decision. If you're only following me for my wrestling content, by all means, there's the door. But I guarantee you will be back within the next year because you always come back.
We're allowed to be flexible.
That's right. Yeah.
We're
You know,
allowed
we're not
to.
always going to be what you want us to be. Like sometimes we need to, you know, let live and do what's best for us at sometimes.
We're allowed to critique the things that we like, whether it be wrestling, whether it be movies, whether it be TV, whether it be comic books, anime, whatever it is that you happen to enjoy.
And I find that, you know, the wrestling community, you know, nothing against them. I love the wrestling community, you know, I've been around for 6 years, you know, I do my best to be fair, I would say, you know, whether it's independent wrestling, you know, indie wrestling, women's wrestling, Japanese strong style, Canadian wrestling, major promotions. I do my best to try to be fair and look at, you know, what you may be upset about, you know, at the end of the day, you know, maybe you can't compare an indie show to a WWE standard.
Sure.
Or an NXT standard.
Absolutely.
And because those shows are ran differently. And I think I always stress that. And I think, you know, doing what I did, you know, writing wise for 6 years, I think I help people understand that a little bit more. That it's okay to like what you like, and it's okay to like whatever wrestling you like, whether it's WWE, whether it's indie wrestling, whether it's AEW, whether it's Impact, whether it's New Japan, Noah, Stardom, you know, Sendai, you know, it's okay if that's what you like and that's what makes you happy. Wrestling is supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be fun. There's no sense in taking it too personal if someone disagrees with you, because wrestling opinions, everyone has their own.
Yes, they do.
And I think if people take the time and realize that, you know, just communicate and interact with what you like. Don't get
I like that you said everyone has everyone has their own opinion.
Yeah, like for instance, me and you, Blood, me and you may not agree on what we think great wrestling is, or who the best wrestler of all time is, or who the GOATs are. Like, you know, but at the end of the day, it's wrestling.
Exactly.
You're going to change the business.
Tony knew where I was going with that.
Billy Silverman. Last week.
Billy Silverman. Let me tell you about Billy Silverman, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Silverman is a former WWE and WCW referee who doesn't believe that you have an opinion. If you like AEW and if you don't like WWE, if you criticize or if you had your opinion on some of the matches and some of the things that happened at WrestleMania, he was not happy with that. He was not happy with that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're allowed an opinion. You're a grown-up. And if you're not a grown-up, if you're a kid, guess what? You're still allowed your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people get mad at me because, you know, I may think the women's division at Impact is better than a lot of divisions in general. I may feel that the women at NXT are phenomenal. You know, people will disagree with that and tell me I'm wrong. And I'm like, okay, you know, hey, your wrestling opinions are your wrestling opinions. They're your own. But it's not going to upset me because at the end of the day, you know, as an actual article writer and an analyst, my job is to analyze your moveset. If you did what you did correctly, I can't fault you. And at the end of the day, I'm not in the ring either. And that's my own personal preference because I personally don't like to feel my insides shake.
And you know, it's funny you say that because I realize
that's how it feels.
A lot of people who talk shit about, you know, this and this, are guys who are never actually in the ring.
Really? I'm like, have you? And I've, I remember like a couple years ago when I worked at, I think I might have worked at Body Slam before I went to a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Someone I remember in the wrestling community, and I've had a lot of people try to argue with me in the wrestling community in general on Twitter, and it got to a point where I just don't fight because I don't care. That's your opinion, that's your own, and I can't exactly remember what it was about, but I remember telling them, have you ever had basic training? Have you ever attended a seminar? Have you ever felt that mat? Because once you feel it, I told him, I'm going to tell you exactly how it feels. Because I felt it. That's the moment you take your first major bump. That's when you decide if this is what for me or not for me. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to, I can't have my inside shake. I just don't have that type of willpower.
That is the very best thing I've ever heard someone say about wrestling.
What?
Feel your inside shake.
Well, that's legitimately, that's the best description I can.
It does.
Oh,
taking a bump, your whole body is jarred. Tony knows. I remember watching Tony take a bump after a long time, and I'll tell you, I went to wrestle. I went to wrestle in
It
North
hurts
Dakota.
even if you run the ropes incorrectly.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Sure as hell does.
Because if you don't like secure yourself correctly, you're going to cut yourself.
Yeah. I tell people all the time inside that, like, I try to tell people the wrestling ring ropes. They're like, oh yeah, those ropes don't hurt. And I say, the shit that holds the telephone poles.
That's what it is.
Cables. Imagine that encased in rubber. That's what the ropes are.
Or sometimes, it's just taped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's even worse when it's taped.
That's even worse.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't run it correctly, it's going to hurt you. You're going to cut up your back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or even, God forbid, the worst case scenario, one of them breaks.
Oh yeah, and I always tell people I always say, don't take any advice from me because I'm not a trainer. But if I had to, if my life depended on it, I'll get in a ring. But if my life depended on it, and I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a good match. But but if my life depended on it and I had to, by all means. But if you don't run it correctly, you're gonna hurt yourself. And not all rings are the same. They need to understand that too.
Right.
Lucha rings are the toughest rings.
Oh God!
I trained in a lucha ring, and it was like training in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
You take that bump, and that's your ass, man. Like you hit that bump, and that's it.
Yeah, lucha rings are very stiff.
But we do it all for you, the fans of pro wrestling. We do it for you guys.
But yeah, that's the best way I could describe it. Your inside shake, and it's very uncomfortable, and it hurts. And the harder the bump, the worse it is.
Yes.
I've been in some really soft rings, really, really soft rings that basically I could bump on all day long and not feel a thing. I have been on rings as hard as concrete that I never wanted to bump on ever again, and I've been somewhere in the middle.
I think Christian Cage or Christian, whichever you prefer, which WWE, TNA, AEW, whatever preference you ECW. I don't know if it was him or Edge that trained in a boxing ring.
I think they both did.
Or they both did. Yeah. They both did. Yeah, it's very stiff.
Yeah, they came up with a friend of the show, Sin Bodhi, as a matter of fact.
That's right.
They can attest to that.
Yeah, it was a boxing ring, but I tell them they're not all built the same.
Chikari says he took his first bump and he was hooked.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's when you determine, hey, this is for you or this is not for you.
That's right.
And I tell people that, if you can't, and also if you don't, I'm big on fundamentals too, as you know. I have, I believe in different fundamentals for different things, like tag team wrestling. I think there's different fundamentals, than a singles competitor.
Absolutely.
That's just how it is, and that's what I've learned in like 6 years of my life as a writer. And, not to call out, my fellow journalists or anything in pro wrestling, but I watch seminars. I attended basic training because I have to know what it's like before I even give you an opinion or write something about it. And that's my honest opinion, and that's how I feel. And I tell people also, you know, when you start, learn how to put together a ring.
Yes.
Learn your basics. Be, you know, just you got to at least do that. Help. So, yeah.
100%.
That's right. Safety is the key, no
Just
matter what
me.
you're doing in the ring. That's right.
Exactly.
Jakari's learned that a lot. He's advanced a lot, and
Yep.
he's one of our top guys, top referees,
That's
and
right.
just general good guy at training. Like, he's a good kid, and I'm proud to have him around. So, yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to call it a wrap here at the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you very much, Ashley, for joining us. Tony, it is always a pleasure to hang out with you, my man.
Thank you.
So you can tell these people that are watching us on Facebook, they're watching us on YouTube and on Twitch. They're also listening on Spotify, Google, Anchor. They're listening on Pandora, Amazon, Apple Music. Every podcasting station you can find. iHeartRadio
Has a calm, soothing voice for narration.
Yeah, it's so funny because someone told me I had one of those smooth jazz radio songs.
But it's
Voices.
nice. It's very it's nice. It's very comforting.
Well, thank you. Someone told me I had a phone sex operator voice, and I was like,
Oh no.
wow. Like, okay,
Oh no.
right. You can get us here at 1-900-909-9900.
Please send us donations, payment to our Cash
That's
App.
right. Cash App, ladies and gentlemen.
Cash App. BB Blood.
OnlyFans
Money
/ Tony
Yes.
DeBarn.
Money sign. BB Blood.
That's right. I'll make some money today. But Tony, where can they find us on television?
They can find us on television throughout the Portland metro area, including Vancouver, Washington, on Xfinity and on CenturyLink TV, aka Prism. You can watch the show every Monday night at 10 p.m. on Channel 11 on both formats. If you miss that one, you got another chance every Tuesday night, 10 p.m., Channel 22, Xfinity, Channel 8002 on Prism. And you got one more shot after that every Wednesday night, 9 p.m., Channel 23, Xfinity, and Channel 8003 on Prism.
Man, we are everywhere. You can find us on Twitter at the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you want to support the channel, easily go to anchor.fm / the Roundtable Podcast / support your boys. And speaking of supporting your boys, why don't you go ahead and support Ashley Rose Nova on Pro Wrestling Tees right there. You can click that link, ladies and gentlemen. It is in the bottom of the section here. You can also find her on her Twitch channel, ladies and gentlemen. She does have a Twitch channel, so go subscribe.
Yeah, it's going to be active in like 2 weeks.
And
Because
then,
that's what I'm going to do.
oh wow! And then you can go ahead and you can find her on Twitter. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go like, click, and subscribe, but do not, I repeat, do not drop your name in her DMs. She ain't looking for them nasty pictures, ladies and gentlemen. You know who you are, sign guy. Because you are everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next week. Peace.